to Faristar. You sought out allies across the continent, which eventually, after much trials and tribulations, to Battleborn, where it was encased in a magical dome. You realize upon entering the dome that not only does it have anti-magic properties, but that there's no escape. You also saw that there was a presence of the Grey fully installed patrolling the city with martial law. You were able to make contact with a rebellion, a small sect of rebellion, and came up with a plan to infiltrate the castle, make contact with the king, and figure out what was going on. A plan that was sound and went relatively well. You were able to make contact with the Master Smith in the dungeons to free her as a potential new ally, and made contact with the king at the throne room after a few close calls with patrols storming out of the gates to race to some dangers in the rest of the city. Upon reaching the gates, there was a scuffle of a few guards there, orcs, necrotic magic, and undead. Very similar circumstances to Wizardton, very similar circumstances to the Grey as a whole. You guys enter the throne room, make contact with the king, who seems to be out of sorts, not undead, but certainly drained of life, and a tabaxi with familiar coding from the Yavapai clan, similar to Minasara, or Min, so lovingly referred to. And in the midst of your conversation, trying to figure out how to go about this, darkness took the area, silence took the area, and as it dissipated, once you guys scrambled up to try and get to the throne to see what was going on, Min herself stood there with the red jasper stone in hand, back into the hands of the Yavapai clan once more. But however, she was not an ally. She is undead, and she went through one of the portals similar to what the rest of the undead army has been using, and took the jasper stone with her. You guys were left with the dead body of the last other Yavapai clan member and the king kind of out of sorts. And as you guys try and take in what just happened, finally reconnecting with Min, but realizing she's turned and become something that she despised, how her very being was everything against undead nature. It was just unnatural, and all things tabaxi are one with the earth, and she just kind of seemed to be possessed by this stone and the taking of it. So you're left in the throne room, and Barrow, you have your hand on the king's robes. You had a hand on him, trying to find him in the darkness, and you try to take in the situation, and you see that the king, the elder dwarven monarch, starts to have color come back into his face slowly, but it looks like the pale and sullen figure in the throne is already starting to instill life in himself again, come back to normal, and you see him kind of blink a few times and look around. And what would you like to do?
Pick our jaws up off the floor.
Mm-hmm. Altera and Bean rush up to the dais and climb up next to you, Barrow, to make sure that nothing else happens, so that they're present with you.
I'd like to. I'm looking around the perimeter. I just want to kind of like, after everything that's just happened, I'm kind of scoping out the perimeter. I want to see if there's anybody else in this room or if I hear anybody coming.
Perception check, please.
And then could I also have, like, I'm in one side of the room and Atari's like circling.
Yeah, you guys can kind of just whoop.
Yep. Can I roll for him and myself?
Yeah.
That's fine. I want to see if he's injured in any way, or if he looks.
The king?
Yes.
Make a medicine check.
Oh Lord.
All right.
I'm going to reach, while I still have a grasp on him, I'm going to reach into my satchel on my side and pull out a good berry. And I'm going to
force feed him and make his jaw go up and down. And
yeah, I'm just going to push it into his mouth.
Unnatural.
Short doo-doo.
What'd you get?
I got a 12 and Atari got a 13.
Okay. Amora?
Unnatural 20.
Okay. Hadvar, you don't see anyone in the room. Atari telepathically lets you know this room is clear. There are faint sounds of battle outside this room, far, far away. You can hear a scuffle of some sort, but it doesn't seem to be a present danger. Amora, you can see that this is certainly not a natural illness. This is not something that he has not come down with some sort of illness. He's not afflicted by any kind of natural sickness. This is something that has been placed upon him and is now rescinding itself. Something magical in nature.
Is he chewing that good berry?
He swallows it. Hey, thank you, boys. Where am I? What is happening here? And you see him struggling to get his bearings.
Where's your wife?
All right. And he looks over at the throne and sees it toppled over and cracked. She's passed.
How?
Where are my guards? Guards! Guards!
You might want to be quiet. There's a whole bunch of undead outside. You're going to get us killed.
I've not been myself for quite some time. She's been executed.
By whom?
You?
Nay, not by me own hand, but
On your orders.
I wasn't myself, though. It's been a strange time here.
Who is this?
The city's in disarray.
I remember bits. I remember members of the Yavapai clan coming and offering, but that was so long ago.
Offering what gifts?
Security. They were offering to leave Craghammer and join with us and be placed amongst the nobles here if they shared their power.
Was this one of them? And I reach down and I pick up the guy that she killed.
Like by the scruff of the neck, and you just kind of, hey, put it down, keep it away from me. That's one of them, but it seems as though they betrayed the Dwarven Empire. Aye, they were not right. They were not of the Yavapai clan. Nay, no clan would have done this to dwarven kind. Oh, what am I to do? You say the city's in disarray.
Why did they bring the stone here?
To secure an alliance, but ever since they brought it here, I don't remember. What has happened?
Well, a group dedicated to the undead god of Orcus took control of your city, slaughtered your people, sent them to slaughter other people in Wizardton, which is now a floating castle, and your city has been left in shambles, and there is a small resistance left fighting the undead.
It wasn't a nightmare then. It is as I feared.
Where do they keep the orange crystals?
Are these crystals?
Yeah, they smash them and then they teleport.
Yes, I remember. They keep them on their person mostly. There is no. And he looks over to the right. You see him kind of look at a part of the wall. There's no door there or anything, but you see him staring at it.
What's over there?
A secret entrance or exit for nobility. It's possible there's a storage room. I'm
Show
not
us.
sure what's in there.
I'll go right over there and
Yes,
start
yeah, I'll go
investigating the
past
area.
Show us how to get in there.
I can, and he tries to get up, and you see him fall and just kind of. Ugh!
Scythe. I'm gonna have Scythe come up and just allow him to rest his arm on
Arm at least, and you see him kind of push. You see his back kind of bow, Scythe's back kind of bow under the weight. You see this dwarf is heavier than he appears. And he stands up, and he, all right, let's move over here. And you walk across the dais, and Altera says, "Your Majesty, please. You've done awful things to the city. Awful things. If it's true, if it's not your doing, please make this right." Yes. One step at a time. And he moseys way over to the stone wall. You see Altera stop for a second and hold the stone in her hand. The dome is down. The dome, the jail, it's gone.
We're able to leave.
Captain Tuck says that there was more than one rebellion out there. The whole city was fighting back. He wasn't the only one. I think there's a chance. Stay with the king. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the entrance. He wants to meet us there. Stay with the king if you want, but I have to go meet him at the entrance.
Are there still undead?
Yes, of course, but there's more people fighting than we thought, and I think there's a legitimate chance I have to go help. At least
I think we all need to.
you see the king kind of. I will be here if you need anything. And you see him just kind of start to try and sit down, unless you want to, depending on what you want to do. Do you want to go with Altera or stay with the king?
I'm gonna go. I want to go fight I'm ready to go fight.
I'm gonna go, but before that, I'm searching Catboy for anything useful.
Okay. Roll an investigation.
Yeah.
14.
Oh.
You find 2 orange crystals, a satchel of 15 platinum, and 1 dagger. It looks a little familiar, albeit smaller. It has 1 gem in the hilt. An obsidian crystal emanating purple light, and you see it pulsing.
That looks really pretty.
I'm gonna take that and put it in my belt right up front, so that anybody who tries to take it will have to do so in my presence.
Okay. When you grab that dagger, and you put it on your belt, your symbol of Palor starts to heat, and you can feel it getting hotter and hotter on your hip the longer this dagger stays there.
Do I see this? Am I around?
You guys are, yeah, you see him go over and look, you're ready to go. You're like, come on. And you see Barrow pull the crystals out, pocket, pull the satchel out, pocket, and pull the dagger out. Look at it. You can even see from your distance
Okay.
this
Well, then
purple light emanating.
I'm
And
gonna
you see him put it on his belt.
put my hand out, but not like give that to me, but I'm gonna put my hand out and I'm gonna say, Barrow.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
That looks.
And I'm going to throw it on the floor in front of me.
It almost magnetically starts spinning and moving away from you in your direction, Hadvar. And as your hand's out, you can see the mark of Orcus pulsing with the gem on the blade.
I'm gonna close my hand.
Okay.
Does it do anything?
Nope.
Does it still?
Is it still moving toward him?
It comes to a stop maybe about 15 feet from you, but it very, like, you threw it maybe like this way and it went.
I'll put my hand back out.
And the pulsing gets a little more intense.
I grab a Tupperware container, like a big one, and I
Like a
just
giant spider.
over top of it.
Yeah.
Does it move towards me again?
No, it doesn't move any longer, but you can see maybe a small vibration in the dagger.
I probably think we shouldn't play with something so dangerous. Maybe you,
Also
Shauna.
shouldn't leave it here for anybody else to pick up.
That's
I'll
very
go-
true, but I don't think you should be touching something that's causing such an effect.
I pick it up.
Nope. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep, that's.
Heather, don't do it!
Oh,
Of all people to say that.
I know. No, I really wanted to touch it. I'll be honest.
touch. Well, nothing happened when Barrett touched it, so.
That is a 17.
You grab it and you feel a surge of energy, dark, pleasurable. It almost encapsulates your mind of this sensation of the power that's in this dagger as you hold it in your hand, and it's just it's exhilarating. It's arousing almost. It's this overwhelming sensation as you touch this dagger. Nothing. You feel a presence come into your mind, but you don't feel like it's taking hold. There's something pushing it at bay as you kind of keep yourself calm for the moment.
I'm gonna roll a dice to see what Hadvar does.
Okay.
Odds or evens?
I'm really interested in this secret entrance that the king was going to show us.
So I've got my hand on the sword of sharpness right now.
Okay.
And I'm just watching.
I pull a cloth out, like a rag.
A hanky.
I pull my hanky out and I put the dagger in it and I fold it up. Can I
Okay.
still feel anything?
It rescinds. It's still present. But not having skin contact to the dagger kind of alleviates that sensation.
I kind of look around. I'm like, oh, this one's a doozy.
Partner, I think you should probably just put it away.
And you see Bean actually has a hand like on the neck of his banjo as he's like very, 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 very quietly. You can almost not hear it. He's already playing notes on the frets.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be careful with this one. I won't make the same mistake twice. And I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna put it like somewhere. I'm gonna.
Do we have like a bag? I guess our satchels or.
You have places. You can put it in a holster. You can put it in a sack. I'm sure you guys at some point.
Yeah.
I put the platinum in with the rest of our stuff, and I toss him the empty satchel. that it was in.
Take it and I put it in there.
Okay.
Now, you said this is me speaking, Kyle, is you said it was a very similar to the Arcanoloft dagger that I already had, except it's a purple gem. There's one, and it's smaller.
It's a smaller dagger. It's an obsidian black gem,
Oh.
but the light that it emanates is a very dark purple.
Oh.
But it has similar features. You can see that it's an enchanted dagger of some kind, and it has evil alignment qualities. I don't know how else to word that. You know, the Arcanoloft has that ambiance to it. This dagger has the same properties.
Yeah, I could identify, but I have to touch it.
You do.
So once I notice that he's put it away, I kind of ease up, and I'm instantly walking back out the doors, making them think that I'm going toward the fray, but I'm going to search the bodies that are out there that we didn't search.
Stop and search. All right, go ahead.
And I'm going to guidance myself this time.
By this time, the king has actually made it to the wall.
I'm gonna walk with him to the wall.
Cyphus kind of okay. He gets to the wall, and you see him drag his thumb over the stone. And as he moves his thumb, maybe about 3 seconds after he is drawing on the stone, there's a blue shimmer that starts outlining where his thumb has been. And you see him draw this dwarven rune, another one. And when he draws a third one, the stone rescinds, and about a 5 by 5 wall kind of opens up. You know, taller than he is, because he's about maybe 4'4", 4'5".
Mm-hmm.
So a 5 space in the wall just kind of moves off to the side.
I am going. Is it dark inside, or are there?
Yeah. And he looks at you more. If you go in there, it's not far, but walk down the path. There's another enchanted wall. I'd have to go with you. It's the same ruins. Did you see what I drew?
Yes.
Roll an Arcana check.
Nice action on that one.
That was quite
It
fun.
went like
It
around the
rolls
world, like on a.
I like it.
17.
You're able to recognize them, even if you're not familiar with what they mean. You can. They were simple enough patterns that you can say, "Yep, I got that."
All right, then I will do my dancing lights just to illuminate.
You see 4 balls of light. They just kind of trail in front of you as you enter this space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Beryl, what'd you get for your investigation?
Unnatural 20.
Okay. You find in total 5 more crystals, orange crystals. You find 1 bladed staff. So it's about 2 feet of metal, and then the top half of it, another 1.5 feet, is a blade, and it's that dark black jagged edged Altira's craftsmanship. And as you search, you notice that there's a lot of fake armor on these guys. They almost all had junk armor.
Is there any way to tell whether the blade that is on the staff is one that's made to break after 1 hit?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Kyle.
Just no.
I was like looking. I was like, wait, did I get a no?
No, but I just see Kyle like.
Is there a way to tell whether or not the dagger that is, or the blade that's on the staff is one that was made to break after it hit something for the first time?
You test it. You can even take the hilt of one of your daggers and just kind of to see if it breaks, and it seems solid. It seems actually beyond normal craftsmanship. It seems like it's almost absorbing the vibration of your hits. even though it's what appears to be steel and it should resonate. You hit it, and it's almost as if it's rebounding your dagger. It's a quality of craftsmanship that you have not seen before.
Okay.
Exceptional, we'll call it. Hadvar, to answer your question,
Well, wait, aren't you gonna message him?
no.
Oh, all right.
I thought you froze.
Word it as you can if you want. If you don't want, I can explain. But if you want to remain cautious, I would roll again.
19.
Same effects. Yes. Amora, you get to the point in the wall. You move in through this space. You go in about you're walking. It takes you a good couple minutes. Barry, you're still sorting through pockets and stuff. There's also an odd coin that one of those necromancers had. Amora, you finally get to that wall and you trace the outline of the runes. You do that, and very similar, the wall rescinds, moves out of the way, and you move into this space where you see chests that fill a room that's about 30 by 30. You see pedestals that hold goblets made out of platinum encrusted with diamonds. You see it's a treasure vault. It's there's several things in here. It's all dependent upon what you're looking for specifically. If you want to cast any kind of spells or anything.
Depending on how long they're gonna be there, I could do a ritual of detect magic, just to see if there's anything magic items in there. But I think at some point I will be like, Barrel.
Yeah.
Sparkly stuff. Sparkly.
Yeah, probably shouldn't touch anything.
I'm looking. I'm playing it safe. But I'm playing it safe.
And I'm like, yeah, I've been finding some of that myself, and I flick the coin in the air.
It seems the emblems on it are on one side is a wreath that curls up on both sides, and two swords that cross in the middle.
Ooh.
And on the other side is the same wreath, but it's fire instead. And there is a goblet etched into the middle of that one.
So it's a goblet of fire.
Yep.
I put my name in it.
Did you put your name in the fire, Harry?
Okay.
So, you're going through all that. Amora, she texts you. Amora talks to you. Hadvar, you're watching this go on, and you see the king just kind of take his arm off Scythe and just kind of wait. He starts moseying back towards the throne so he could sit down. Amora, if you're going to allow her to do so, you guys wait for Amora to be done. Do you want to go into the room with her?
You guys are probably like, where in the hell?
I'll move back. Like, I'm not leaving Amora. If she's doing something, I'm gonna stay with her.
Sure. So Hadvar, you see Barrow come back in. She's doing something, and he goes back through the hall.
And kind of be like, guys, there's kind of a revolution happening.
I'm in a secret room, so I just want to see if there might be something useful in here.
order. Did I get any weird feeling from that coin?
Like,
Dark magic.
Yeah, so like nothing like I got from the dagger or anything like
oh
that.
no.
Okay.
It's roll an Arcana check.
There's something out. Go ahead.
11.
It is enchanted.
It is.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's all you know with an 11. It's just
Something's there.
it's a magic coin.
Okay. Cool.
Amora, you finish, and as you finish your casting of detect magic, the walls emanate abjuration magic. Several of the chests emanate magical glows as well. And they range from evocation magic to an unfamiliar magic. There's one school that you're not familiar with at all. There's this odd ambiance coming from one chest in particular. There's conjuration, there's transmutation. Every chest in here has a plethora of different magic.
Do I see any scrolls?
Not immediately. Roll
Like
an
that answer.
investigation check.
Huh?
That good, huh? Okay.
There's so much glowing.
You
here.
try to find, you look at a lot of the magic items, but the overwhelming presence of so many new, expensive, powerful things in one room, you're almost sidetracking yourself by going from one item to the next item to the next item to the next item to the next item, that you're not even retaining information.
Yeah.
Or you walk in and you see Amora just like, just like touching everything.
Ooh. Ooh.
Exactly.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, he's handy. Ooh, he's candy.
I'm gonna walk over to the chest that I don't know what the magic is. I'm gonna check it for traps.
Investigation.
It's crap.
That was better.
Yeah, 17.
You don't feel like it's trapped. It is locked.
All right.
Yeah.
I will pick the lock.
Sure. You have a thieves kit or lock picking?
I thought I did, I thought I
Or you look like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, so about how much time have they spent doing this?
At least 15 minutes.
Oh, I definitely come in. I'm like, what is taking so long? And then
like with the hermit, you have.
All right.
and I see her
just
like
hang on a second.
You
Hang
see
on.
her just like beside herself, like she can't even say anything. Like, look at all this stuff.
all right, when she goes to open the chest, I'm gonna like, I got this.
You want to break the lock?
That
I'm
was
gonna
a
just, is it just like a padlock?
No, it's almost like a welded lock. Like there's obviously something prohibiting it from opening. There is a keyhole. Like you could put a key into the chest itself to unlock it.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Just try to pick it and just
Yeah,
like Captain America with that log. Just
yeah, that is exactly what I want you to picture as I do this.
Okay, give me a strength check, please.
Okay.
We probably shouldn't destroy.
Oh, that's really good. That's a 19 on the die.
Oh.
So.
85.
So yeah, 28.
Wow. Hadvar, you grow over. You pick the chest up. It doesn't feel that heavy. For something the size that it is, it's about 2.5 feet wide, or wide. It's about a foot deep. It's about 2 feet tall. So it's a smaller chest. You go over, you put your finger in the keyhole, and you put one hand on the top of it, and you just go, and you just rip the metal in half. That's binding this this chest together. And the hinge snaps off as you hold both halves. Amora, you see several scrolls come out of this chest, and 2 amulets. To be exact, there are 7 scrolls and 2 amulets that come out of this chest. And they're all emanating that same unfamiliar magic.
What you got there?
I don't know. They're glowing quite pretty. So I'm gonna take a look at the scrolls.
They're all tied. They're all rolled up and then tied and sealed. If you want to break one of them open, you can do that and unfurl it.
Would that technically mean that I would use it, or it's
No. They're secured. That's all.
I will take one and break and look.
So as you break that seal, the room, your dancing lights kind of fade for a second, and you hear,
damn it!
You hear these whispers, and as you unfurl it, it is written in Dwarven.
Well, I could use a spell to read them. Are they all in Dwarven?
You do it again, you break another one. Those whispers get a little louder the second time. But even for the second one that you look at, it is written in Dwarven.
Do any of us hear the whispers?
You all hear the whispers.
Oh, I'm like,
and Amora's about to open the third one because this is Amora, and that's what she does.
I would have like, wait. Ominous whispering, getting louder. One more. Can I bend over and pick up one of the amulets? I'm gonna toss the chest aside.
Sure. Whoosh! It smashes into pieces against the wall. The wood splinters. One of the metal pieces that bind it, like the banding on the front of the chest, actually sticks into the stone. You throw it. You pick up one of the amulets, and it has this odd symbol on it. It shows a human skull.
Oh no!
And it appears as though it's crying. There are 2 like water trails that go down its face, or stains of some kind, and around the outside of it are just like droplets that kind of like border the amulet.
Do I know what this is?
I will allow you to roll either an Arcana or History check.
I'm gonna walk over to the You said there's an abjuration chest?
Yep.
I want to walk over to the abjuration chest.
That is an unnatural 1.
Unnatural? You have a negative modifier. No, you've never seen this at all. It doesn't ring any bells. It's completely unique. Doesn't look good.
Yeah. It was Arcana or what? Is
History.
it something that I'd be able to check for?
So,
yes.
Can we go ahead and just say that nothing in here is probably good?
Well, this
place has been under martial law from the Grey for how long? I just picked up a dagger that really gave us the heebie-jeebies, and now these scrolls are whispering ominous whispers that God knows whatever they're saying.
They did sound dwarven.
Crying human skull amulets.
Is Bean in here with us?
No, him and Altera stayed out with the king.
Yeah.
6.
It looks horrible. It looks like a skull crying something.
All right, so this will be the only other chest because I'm like, I know what this magic is.
All right, I'm just going to scoop up the scrolls and I'm going to put them in my pack as delicately as possible. And I'm going to take the amulets and I'm going to...
Wait.
Well, Hadvar has one of them.
Yeah, I have one of them. I'm going to call down Atari. I'm going to put him on my arm. I'm going to take the amulet. I'm gonna look at Atari and say, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna put it on Atari.
It's dangling around. No, it dangles pretty low because it's meant for a humanoid creature. He's an owl right now, right?
He's an owl.
He's just kind of.
I pity the fool.
And then I'm gonna go click into his head.
Oh, okay. So you're seeing through his perspective.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. There's an obvious enchantment on this item. Amora could have told you that. It seems like it requires attunement.
The fact that they
Hadvar, or no, I'm just kidding.
I attune.
don't need to tune to anything right now anyway, so I'm maxed out.
I think most of us are. So that would be the only other chest. I'm just.
And I hold over.
I didn't do this at level 10. I have written way back in my notes that your attunements should have all increased by 1.
Oh,
FYI. That should have happened all the way back at level 10, and I never did it. I was like reviewing the story a couple days ago. I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
How many items can we attune? Well, how many before?
3 to start.
3 to start, now 4.
Oh. Well then, can I... No, never mind. That doesn't work like that. Okay, never mind. Well then, Wait, what the fuck am I attuned to?
All right, I'm gonna check the abjuration, see if it's.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, I'm attuned to 3. I think I would have attuned to something else, but I can't remember what it was. So
11.
You're unable to pick the lock. It's much too complex.
Hadvar.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the off of him and I'm gonna put it in my pouch.
With the dagger? No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter.
Like, yes?
You should break open this chest. Should we really be doing this? Isn't this like the king's stuff?
I think the king can pay a little bit of.
I mean, I agree. We should take this evil-looking shit, but I mean.
But the king said this was their hideout. It wasn't his.
He did say that. And as she's kind of like trying to rationalize with him, I just.
You break the other one open, the abjuration one.
Yeah.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Shit. I'm not good at those.
Everyone make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, well, I got a 19.
That's a save.
Ooh.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Also 21.
Amora, you got 21 as well?
Yes.
Okay. You all take half damage and are not pushed as the chest explodes with force outward, causing 11 points of damage, reduced to 5. And as you break this one open, Hadvar, you see inside that there's all this fabric, all these robes and cloths and gloves and boots. It was a larger chest. It was maybe a 4 foot long chest, but only about 2 feet high. As you break it open, you can see all these nicely folded fabrics that spill out onto the floor.
I pick up like a cloak or something, and I examine it.
It has a softer blue, pale blue color to it, and it's lined with black, and in the black is silver filigree. It seems to be enchanted. They're all enchanted. All the fabric is enchanted.
I was gonna say why?
It's gonna take me forever, but I could identify a few of them. Because it's gonna take me it's been like 15 minutes per item or something.
So I mean, here's the question: are we going to help people or not? Because
that's kind of I'm trying to get us through this because they're probably all getting slaughtered right now. But
now I will also say this: I'm still feeling pretty shitty from the fight right before this.
I'm gonna put my hand on him and use one of my second level warlock spells to cast cure.
No. Don't.
What?
Don't waste. Don't
What?
waste that. I'm
You go to start casting a spell, and Barrow's no. And he like grabs your hand before you can touch him.
You know, if I wanted to touch you, I could, right?
Yes, I'm fully aware of that.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I just
what's
kind
the
of
deal?
like, I poke his hand back with my finger.
Okay.
All right. So, out of character,
Sure.
Okay.
when we leveled up, do we gain those hit points?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can
Whatever you roll plus your Constitution modifier.
Okay, so we add those to what we're currently at. Okay, cool. And then my other question is, have we taken a short break at this point, or a short?
Well, how about this? Let's take a short rest, and let's see, while we're taking a short rest, give these things so we can recoup.
I think we should get out of this room because the walls are also magic.
Okay, yeah, let's get out of here, take a short rest real quick, and then go jump into the fray.
So you take whatever items you want.
So
Yeah,
I
I'm
figured
taking
I
all
would
the clothes.
take-
I just pick up the chest and pile the clothes back into it, and I'm like, all right, Amora, you got some work to do.
And you guys march your way back out into the throne room where the king, Barrow, Bean, and Altera are standing. And the king is sitting in the throne, and Altera is standing there and looks over and says, "Are you robbing him?"
No, he said it. He said it was their hideout.
Yeah, these are the bad people things.
He
We
said
found some
this
pretty
was-
evil shit in there that probably
secret.
shouldn't be.
That's property of the king.
No, it's not property of the king. It was property of the Gray.
No, that's the king's. And she points at the chest, and there is a very obvious symbol of Battleborn emblazoned on the wood.
Oh,
Well, he led us there to see if there was anything.
Out here, it's fine. They've helped enough at this point. They can have some spoils.
well,
And
And
wait
he looks
a second.
over and,
Can you
and looks
tell
at
us
you,
what these
Hadvar.
do?
And
What?
he looks at you, the king looks over at you, Hadvar, and goes, "Oh, like, oh, not my
Well,
cloaks."
I'll cast mending on it to fix the
over
box.
and over and over and over.
Yeah, you fix a foot by foot area.
I do ask the king about this weird magic the weird magic chest that I found with a bunch of scrolls and if he knows anything about it.
Yes, I know plenty, but that is private knowledge of the monarchy, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, we could probably. Can you tell us what these clothes do?
Or is there anything else in this room that could help us that maybe we didn't, maybe we won't take?
So I take off my backpack and I start taking the scrolls out.
He just like looks at you and just kind of.
We
That makes sense.
when she didn't recognize the magic, we thought it was the bad guys'
We thought it was
magic.
the Greys.
Sorry about that.
I'll reach in and grab the amulet, the amulet, and I'm like, what about this?
That is not our proudest moment in history. It is new magic, only discovered in the last 200 years.
What's it do?
New magic or no magic?
No.
New,
He said,
as in not old.
what do?
What do?
The mages here call it blood magic.
I drop it.
He watches it as it like falls to the ground. He goes, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's again not our proudest moment, but something that we turned to in one of the wars."
How does it work?
It controls another life force. Bend it to your will.
Yeah, no one should have this.
I understand. That's why it was locked away.
You see, at this point, his color has fully come back, and he seems to be a little more strong. Strong. He's gotten a lot of his strength back.
Why didn't you destroy it? Why'd you keep it?
For the circumstance that it might come in handy. I fear that they are not all accounted for either.
I'm gonna pick it back up and put it back in my sack.
That's fine. And he watches you do that and just kind of.
Well, I'm sorry we're sorry for breaking your chests, but is there anything in that room that you believe that would specifically help us?
Depends on what you are looking for.
I'm gonna show him the now fixed, mended box of clothes. I'm like, what about these duds?
Protection.
None of it's blood magic, is it?
No, it's just strong enchantments for protection. They are to be worn instead of armor for our mages here in Battleborn.
You said instead of armor?
Instead of armor, yes.
Well, I'm gonna look for the gloves and the boots then.
Sure.
See, that's what I was gonna look for, the gloves.
You find a pair of gloves of missile snaring.
What is it?
Gloves of
Gloves of
missile
missile.
snaring.
Oh,
Yeah, I know what those do. They make you like monks.
Yep.
yeah.
There are 2 pairs of +2 gloves.
Like +2 to armor or +2
Yeah.
to like cast?
Two to.
Or armor, AC. If all you're looking at is gloves, that's really all you find.
I was either gonna look for something that could bump up my armor class, or something that could bump up my weapons, because the staff don't have proficiency with, but the gloves would bump me up to an AC, bump up my AC.
Yeah.
But if
Are
I
there-
get
Oh.
something finesse weapons that have more, either of a kick or
There's a pair of trousers that you pull out that have embroidered seams on the side, the outer seams, and a pattern around the shins that look like they would increase your. I don't know how to not put this meta. It increases your spell casting modifier,
okay.
also by 2.
Is there a cloak or anything, or like something I could wear over my armor, like a?
There's +1 cloaks, yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab some gloves. And
Cool.
do they require my 4th attunement?
They do.
Okay, well then, so I have +2 gloves.
So
It's like wearing a shield.
That's
But
insane.
gloves.
what are you? I'm also gonna take a +2 glove.
Do you have to be attuned to them?
Yes.
I'm getting rid of my staff of protection because my staff's not giving me a lot. I mean, it's giving me the AC, but for damage, it's not really doing me any good.
Sure.
Because it's only a +3 to hit, where everything else is either a +9 or a +8 to hit.
That's added.
All right.
Those aren't separate.
No, well, I'm not proficient, so it's only a +3, and because it's a strength weapon, it's a -1.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because
Okay.
I'm -1.
Yeah.
So I could just get rid of my staff and attune to that one and attune to those.
So there were the gloves, the +2 gloves, and what else was there? I'm sorry.
Gloves of missile snaring. There are pants that allow you to increase your spellcasting modifier, and there are cloaks that are +1.
Increase your spell casting modifier.
Yeah, because that's my modifier right now.
So that would increase like your saves. Like when you cast a spell, what they would have to save against. That would increase your attack rolls with spells. That would increase that sort of stuff.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take a pair of those pants.
Sounds good.
Tell me they
New
look like
pants?
MC Hammer pants.
New
And
pants,
I'm
you
gonna take a
just.
pair. I'm gonna take a pair of the +2 gloves, and I'm gonna put them in my pack. Oh, there aren't any more +2 gloves.
I think
No, if they both took a pair, that was it.
I'll take the pants.
you can have the staff.
And I'm just
You're
like
trying to put them on like sweatpants, like you're just putting them on over everything. They're horribly tight.
all right, this isn't gonna work. And I'm gonna walk behind the throne.
Change.
Yeah.
I don't mean to step in here, but this seems like it's not a priority right now.
I mean, if it's gonna make my spell casting better, I say from behind the throne because I'm already back there.
Yeah.
The pants coming down,
All right, and then
the
Yeah. the shuffle. Cool. It looks snazzy.
I like
I
step
feel like-
out.
I feel like they should. Are they like what does your dad call your mom's pants? Like those funky pants that your mom.
Wallpaper
Wallpaper.
pants.
Are they wallpaper pants where it's like?
My mom does own a pair of wallpaper pants.
Like yoga pants?
No, they're
No.
like pads, paisley, and.
Oh no. These are just solid black with black. I'm sorry, with blue outer seam designs with filigree in them.
My mom's are more like canvas material, but it looks like she literally cut it out of wallpaper on the wall and made it into pants.
Nice.
And she thinks they're fantastic, and we're all like,
No, they're not.
Is there any other of those boxes you would like to open or ask about? I think the only other thing that I would like to ask is if any of those boxes did contain any type of dagger or weapons that we could.
Had you rolled a higher investigation, you probably would have known that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at the different things of magic, and the only other one I can think of would be evocation, or powerful scrolls that I could use for magic.
Mm-hmm.
Can we open the evocation box?
Hadvar.
Well, I was gonna ask the king. I was gonna have.
Oh.
No. Like I don't want Hadvar to break anything since now I know they're his chests.
The king is in my bed, or the key is in my bed chambers, but it seems you already have a way of opening these.
Well,
Time is of the essence, please.
Hadvar.
I'm on it.
do any of them have weapons?
No weapons per se. Wands, yes. No weapons.
All right. So this time, I'm going to take the evocation and I'm going to back everybody else away, like turn my back to them.
Right.
Guidance on myself,
Okay.
and then I'm going to open it.
You can open it away from you, perhaps?
Yes. That yeah, like I'm like opening it away, like learning from the last time.
You do that, and there is a jet of flame that emanates from the chest and slams against the wall. And as the fire hits the wall, you do that and kind of brace yourself, and you look around, and you can see that the wall almost absorbs the magic as it just kind of hits and dissipates almost immediately.
I want to open all the things. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to open all the things. It's not.
But inside Hadvar, you find 2 wands and 2 rings.
I'm gonna turn them to both of them and say, "Here you go." Like a big engagement ring thing.
Yeah, and they're not like loose. They're all in their own cases, glass, and they're secured to the bottom of this. But they're easily removed. They're just so that they don't get shifted around as the chest gets bobbled around.
I'm good. I got my. I have attuned to everything I want.
Very good.
And King, what are in this? What are those?
That is weapons of old, but that wand is a wand of fireball. This wand is a wand of tidal force.
Ooh.
It's a Hershey Park ride.
It is fun. I used to like the Canyon River Rapids, but let's not get into that. The rings. One is a ring of conjuration, Misty Step. If you're familiar with this spell, it allows you to teleport short distances.
How many times?
I believe it has 3 charges.
I really thought you were going to say at will, and I was going to throw these gloves off.
And this last ring is it is of the blood magic, but it allows you to siphon life from a target.
Wait a second. And I'm going to pull my undead sword out. Is that what this is made with?
No, I'm unfamiliar with that. And he looks over at the Master Smith, and she says, no, that is something of my own creation, at the behest of their leaders.
This isn't one that's going to break, is it? And I kind of give it to her to look at.
Nope, this is a good one. And she turns it like blade down and slams it into the stone. And you can even see some of the stone crack.
Excellent.
Is this the same? And I kind of like take the staff off of my back.
With the bladed end.
Yeah.
And she looks at it. She says, I remember that one. She holds her hand up. You don't even have to give it to me. It's good.
What does it do?
I believe I gave you those stats for the sword from last time, or the axe.
Okay, so it does do the same thing.
It's all the same. It's just different weapon styles.
I'll get it from Kyle. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't.
What was that?
Those the jagged weapons, I forget their stats. I didn't have those written in my notebook here. They're written elsewhere.
I have a 1d6 and then 1d20 siphon once a day.
Yep.
Now for this, because it's kind of a staff, but you said it was shorter. It was like 2 feet of.
It's like a 4-foot staff.
Okay. Okay, so it counts as like a quarter staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little shorter, but it would still count as a staff.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to argue something else, and we could make it something else. Spear, or I don't know.
What is this?
Lance!
Hurt?
So the ring of siphoning, how dangerous is that thing?
It's not dangerous. It's just darker magic. It's powerful. It can save your life.
I've been possessed and cursed. So
Not currently.
No. I'm fine.
She got better. She got better.
That's not a concern with this. I do not hold anything of that nature.
All right. So I will, as long as I look at Hadvar and I look at Barrow, and I will take the ring of life.
Okay. Requires attunement.
Do the pants require attunement?
Yes.
Okay. I may like sneak over and take that ring of Misty Step
Okay.
and just say, I'm gonna hang on to this.
All right.
It is the least I can do for breaking this curse. We have much
let's
to
go.
do. And you see him like stand up at a rapid pace, and you see him kind of stretch and crack his back, and then crack. Out here, my sword, Your Majesty. And she hands him the glowing runed sword. And you see him grab it, and you see the runes pulse with yellow light and blue light. And you see it kind of encase him almost in an aura, and you see him take a deep breath, and a sourceless wind kind of blows his beard about a little bit as he holds the sword aloft. And he sighs. I believe we have a city to save.
Oh, yeah.
I take the staff off of my back again and I say, Altira.
She grabs it, and like as she grabs it, she does like a spin with it, and it like twirls about 3 times, and she stops. She nods.
Lit.
Let's do it.
All right.
And you guys storm out of the throne room.
Yeah.
How long does it take to tune something?
On our way out,
So-
I'm going to change one of my warlock spells slots into sorcery points.
Very good. As you are leaving, you see the king throw the sword in the direction of the wall and shout something, and the doors start to close themselves. As you guys are leaving the throne room, he does the same thing to the throne doors, and the throne doors close themselves. And you guys run down the large hallway that is the Dwarven Palace in Battleborn, and you make your way down several steps, a few turns, and you can hear the cries of battle becoming louder and louder and louder until finally you're able to make it to where the front doors of the palace are, far away from the throne room, down several flights of stairs. Feeling a little winded, you get there and you can see chaos. There are griffin riders passing over the sky in front of you, and as you look out this door, you see nothing but sky. But as you approach, you can see the rest of the city below, as you are at the top of the mountain. You guys make your way forward, and you can see 4 orc necromancers backpedaling into the palace with about 100 or so undead fighting another 100 or so undead. You can see the undead are fighting each other in front of them as they're casting spells over and over and over again, backing up to your location. And
can I tell the difference in the undead?
Some of them look like common citizens that are like missing arms. Some of them are wearing the gray tabards. Some of them are headless. But you can see these more deformed undead fighting against the gray. And as you can see, Griffin Riders will come down and pick one off as a dwarf that stands on top of it, shunts a spear into their neck, pulls it out, and the Griffin will bite and throw the undead. You can see the tide has started to turn.
Is this where we're... Well, so what I would like to do is call Atari, and it's going to look really cool, all right? So I'm going to have Atari, like, swoop down, and as he lands, I'm just going to cast Fire Breath on him.
Sure.
And then have him swoop off. So he's just, like, not even land, just, like...
Just as he's passing by, you kind of, like, let him grace against your hand, and, like, push against your hand, and then you propel him forward as you cast Fire Breath on him and throw him. You guys are all running. The king is actually in front of you all, and you hear him shout something in Dwarven as he slams the sword onto the ground, and you see, as he's arcing the sword, arcane energy building up, and as soon as it hits, there's a shockwave of electricity that arcs in front of him and runs through one of the orcs and explodes about 30 feet from him and sends about 4 or 5 of the undead flying into the air as he starts to engage in combat.
Fuck yeah.
What would you like to do?
I mean, I'm
Are you
gonna
get involved? We can roll
Oh
initiative.
yeah, I'm getting involved. I'm ready.
Roll initiative,
to go.
please.
Ooh, get a good initiative. Although you guys are probably mad. I'm like pure dice. I have no modifier to my initiative.
Oh.
What'd you get, Hadvar?
17.
Barrow?
25.
Damn it.
I didn't
Amora?
want to steal your thunder. I rolled
One day I'll go first.
I rolled a nat 20.
16.
Okay.
Remind us, it's a short rest to attune. Or a long rest to attune to things.
It's a short rest.
Oh, okay.
I assume we attuned.
If you wanted to have done that, yes.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I figured that we would have, but I was like, I don't know if I had enough time.
I kind of would like to have recouped some hit points.
Did you
I will allow Barrow and Hadvar to do that, but Amora, you were too busy trying to figure out what a lot of this stuff did by identifying. You probably would not be able to generate hit points.
All right.
Okay, that's fair.
I rolled hit die while we were in there, but I will erase it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that out of here.
First in the order, Barrow. You have 2 orcs that are within range of you, melee range. And everyone in range of your long range since you have a rifle.
Right.
The throne room doors the palace doors are reminiscent of the tier doors. They're just a little smaller. So each door is 10 feet wide, so you have a 20-foot space. They're 30 feet tall, and they're open. And in that space, you have 4 orcs trying to control the undead as they are backpedaling.
So they got their back to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hop off of Scythe, and I'm gonna unsling the rifle.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take. Do I want to do that? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna take a. I'm going to bonus action cast Hunter's Mark. We're gonna go way back on this one.
Okay.
Hunter's Mark on whichever orc is closest.
There's one that's 20 feet from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna Hunter's Mark him, and then I am going to take a shot with my rifle.
All right, get him.
Better. That is 19. No, I'm lying. That is 23.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah, boy. 15 force damage.
All right.
Another 2 for Hunter's Mark. Oh, wait, and another 4 for Preferred Enemy. Bringing it all back.
21 points of damage.
Did he die?
He did not die. You strike him, and he loses concentration on the spell that he was doing, and he turns and shouts something to his orc friends.
Okay. I'm going to have Scythe run up to within... How far apart are they?
10 feet from each other, respectively. Because they're just behind the door, so they're spaced out a little bit.
Yeah, screw it. I know what it is. It's a 30-foot cone for dragon breath, right?
I believe so.
15-foot cone for dragon breath.
Damn it. All right. So the one that I already hit and the one that's directly beside him, I'm going to tell him to use his 1-a-day breath weapon.
Very good. What element?
I feel like... I feel like it's got to be fire.
That works. You send Scythe forward, and he bounds forward and comes to a halt, and as he howls, there's a jet of fire that splits out of his mouth and just fans out in front of him, engulfing the two orcs that you want him to. Please roll that damage as they roll their dexterity saving throws.
Is that D8?
3d6.
3d6. Excellent.
The one you hit did not save. The one you have not hit yet did save.
That is 7 points of fire damage.
Very good.
That was kind of
It's extra damage. All right. It is now their turn. As they notice what is happening, one of them turns behind you and starts casting a spell. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, Barrow.
Okay.
And I'll say Bean is next to you, so I'm going to have him make a dex save.
Are either of them close to me?
Not that close. They're probably 20 feet from you.
No.
Excuse me.
Right.
21.
Yes, that saves. Hang on, let me get Bean's stuff up here. 11, 12, 31. So you both save. So you take half necrotic damage, which is, decent roll.
Oh,
15 reduced to 7 necrotic damage as a beam of dark energy pierces through you, but you are able to glance off. The other two orcs on the outsides.
It was 7 damage, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The other two orcs on the outside see what's happening, and the two on the right see what's happening, and they come together to start casting a spell at the same time, and they put their hands on the ground, and you see two of the undead fighting in the crowd start to scream as they and you see them grow in size as they start to roar and become one of the Tanaruk, the large demonic orcs.
Shit.
And then the third one is going to continue to engage the group. I won't have him hit you. The group's engaged. It is Bean's turn. Bean is standing between Barrow and Hadvar. Hadvar, he looks over and says, I think you can handle something like this. And he starts playing and gives you Bardic Inspiration.
Dope.
Which is a D10.
It's a D10 on any roll.
On any attack or save.
Okay.
For the next minute? Or is it
For the next round.
So.
All right.
And then he is going to cast the spell. What do I want him to cast?
I cast Dead.
He's going to cast. You hear him play. And the spell does not. Oh wait, no, it's not a save. Hang on. 2, 3, 4. The one that you've been hitting, Barrow, as he's about to cast something, you see him go and fall asleep. In the middle of chaos. Hadvar, it is your turn.
All right. How many groups of how many enemies are there?
There are, to be exact, 73 undead, 2 that are Tanaruk, and 4 orcs.
And how many of them are necromancers that are still awake?
4. 3 that are still awake.
And how close are they together?
10 feet from each other, respectively.
Super lame. All right. So, all right. So I am going to go ahead and
I will say, because I know what your spells are, at least, if you wanted to position yourself where they're all in a straight line, that's possible as well.
No, I'm not going to do that quite yet.
Okay.
I do. So I want to do this where I have Atari swoop down and Dragon's Breath, just kind of like fly over and just.
Sure. Is that a save?
That is a deck save.
Which ones are you hitting?
We'll
say that you can get 2 of them because it's a cone.
Yeah.
So
2 that are not asleep.
I got a 19 and a 12.
The 12 does not save.
All right.
That is going to be 4, 5, 6. That's 9 points of fire damage.
So 4 for the one and 9 for the other.
And then I am going to bonus action. Yeah. Okay. The Taruk thing that's looking at us.
Yeah.
That's the new one. That's looking at us, right? That's like
it's in the crowd, but you see it's starting to overtake the undead that was fighting it. You see him start to clear a path almost back down the steps.
Oh, not to us.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't care.
You see him turning his own little area into a tearing frenzy.
Okay. I'm going to use a bonus action, and I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast.
That's an action.
Yes, sorcery points, sorry.
Very good.
To that, and I'm going to divide the 3 of them, the 3 bolts, between the 3 awake necromancers.
Okay.
All right.
I like
so I'm gonna send Necromancer 1, Necromancer 2, Necromancer 3. All right. I'm going to use my Bardic Inspiration on one of them.
Okay.
Because that's too low. I don't like it. That's probably better. Probably not. Let's see. So I've got a 8 plus 8. So I got a plus 7. So that is. Oh, that actually is much better. All right. So 16 plus 7.
That hits.
Okay. And then 2
22.
15s plus 7. So 22. 2 22s.
They all hit.
Okay, cool. Well, no, I guess you can't tell me that, but.
Did it hit without the Bardic Inspiration?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the one, it was an 8 on the die. I didn't feel good about it.
Probably safe to have used it.
Yeah. I lose it next
It would
round.
have gone to waste
right?
anyway. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not mad about it. So yeah, roll damage, right?
Yeah, please. 10s if I'm not mistaken.
10 plus 3. All right, so that's going to be an 8, an 8, and a 5.
8, an 8, and a 5. Very good.
And now use my
send
action.
Atari out.
Oh.
You send Atari out. He very dragon-esque as an owl, and fire comes out of his mouth and encases 2 of them as he swoops down with his flyby attack. And as you do that, you pull your hand back with the Orcus symbol and release very, very dark green, black energy out of your hand. You see 3 bolts arc and slam into the 3 that are standing. They all kind of flinch at the same time.
And then I'd like to use my action to do it again. Because that was
Very
my
good.
bonus action.
Yeah.
And then same 3.
Can you remind
That is probably going to be a miss. So that's
me for what's
yeah, that's an 11.
Amora, what'd you say?
Go ahead. Because not my turn yet. Go ahead.
All right, so an 11.
That misses.
Yeah. 18
Hits.
and a 15.
That hits.
Fantastic.
So roll damage on the second 2.
All right, that's going to be a 9 plus 3, so an 11 and a 7.
The first one that you hit strikes him, and you see his neck twist in an unnatural fashion as he crumples to the floor with the force damage that just sends him cascading into the group of undead. You see the ones around him from his lifeless body kind of stop fighting and look down and just start tearing at him, ripping flesh off and ripping limbs off, and they all just start digging through his body. The second one gets hit and starts to look very concerned.
Concern.
Yes. Altira is going to go and try to... Well, Altira and the king run past and try to engage the Tanaruk. And you see them both land hits, but his sword does special things. Numbers. Stand by. I'm doing numbers.
Stand by.
Darling, stand.
You see the king roar with his sword and slam it into one of the Tanaruk, and you see the light pulse with energy as he was stabbing into it, and you see the Tanaruk kind of shiver for a second as the blade is in him, and then bat the sword out of his side, and you see him, Altira, take the staff, spin it, and slice through twice, and you can see blood that trails off of the Tanaruk kind of hang in the air and soak into the blade. Amora, it is your turn.
Does this have kind of a similar feel to when we were at the Temple of Graic?
Reminiscent. Different, but reminiscent.
Okay.
I'm still listening. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I was thinking, what is the field? So what does the field look like again? So
you're standing behind the throne room doors, right? Or the palace doors.
Mm-hmm.
There's one orc that's asleep, and in a row of 4 of them, he's the second one. The third one is dead, and the ones on the outside are not dead. They're casting spells and stuff. Then in front of them, about 30 feet, are just a crowd of undead fighting each other, and the 2 Tanaruk.
And how close am I to the crowd of gray?
So you're about 20 feet from the orcs, so you'd be about 60 feet from the crowd.
I thought I was gonna pull that. Okay, so I'm going to and I'm going to cast Fire Bolt to both orcs.
Okay. The ones that are awake.
Yes, the awake ones on the end.
Yep. Go ahead and roll your attacks.
16.
That hits.
$21.
That hits.
21.
21. Kyle, what's 9 plus 10?
19.
You must not be familiar with that video. 21? You don't know that one?
I've only seen it like
have a D.
and pass it. Like,
That's fair.
you realize I only just discovered the vine, like
Oh.
this year, like last year.
Late to the game.
Very.
15 for the first hit.
Okay.
See, and I was channeling Gimli when I said 21.
Oh.
When they're at Helm's Deep.
1.
21.
18 for the second.
All right.
Day 2.
You send the fire bolts out, and you see them arc and strike both targets. And the one that's all the way on the right, you see it lance into his chest as it starts to burn, and he grabs at it and burns his hands as you see him struggle to figure out what's happening as he cries and falls backward, howling in pain as the fire just kind of burns a hole in his chest. He is done. Back to the top of the order. Actually, it is the group's turn now. So, I actually need this and this. I need everyone to roll a percentage die for me.
That is... Well, you're going to have to ask Anthony what that means. So she got... Technically, it's the double zero, so it's 100, but then she also got a 9.
Or is that a
So it's
zero?
just 9.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do is, as my movement, is try to get closer to the horde. So
Okay, that's fine.
That's,
You're probably up just past the line of orcs as you send those bolts forward. You see the one that dies and you run by him.
yeah. So at least I'm going that direction.
Okay, so you got 9. Hadvar, Barrow, please roll percentage die.
85.
Ooh. What happened? I'm sorry. I had to go. I forgot what my staff did.
It's the horde's turn, and I'm just asking you to roll percentage die.
$35.
Cool.
Barrow, roll one for Scythe, please.
That is 80.
Wow. Okay.
Well, okay, you tell me how you want this to go. So I rolled 70 and then a 0.
So it's 70.
So that's just, even though the 0 is technically 10.
So it only changes when there's all zeros. You see what I mean? Unless you're rolling it as a D10 by itself, will it ever be 10? When you're rolling a D100, the properties change.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so it's 70.
Correct. Everybody but Amora and Hadvar, as the horde starts pushing back, the good guys are winning. But that means they're coming into the palace. And they start to move in your direction, and now you become engulfed in this crowd. Amora and Hadvar, you're able to keep out of most of the fray, but they move at such a pace that everyone starts to become encased in this undead frenzy. Everyone else, wow, takes 31 points of piercing damage from nails and teeth just being raked across as you're just being pushed through this undead crowd.
Wait, so I take this damage and Psychic?
Everybody but Amora and Hadvar. So that means Bean, the King, Altira,
31, you said.
31 points.
Poor Scythe. What is Scythe at?
Not great. So let me ask you this. Is this something that I would be able to use parry and riposte with, since it's melee-ish attacks, or no?
It sounds like a horde.
No, because they're not attacks against you. You're just kind of collateral damage.
Fair enough.
Barrow, it is your turn. You are now surrounded.
Perfect. Let me finish updating here. 20. Yep, not great. Not great.
Better than I thought.
Okay. All right.
And I want to clarify something. When I said there were 73 and 2, that's the bad guy undead.
Yep.
The ones that are disfigured, there's about just as many, if not a little more of them. But they're not considered enemies.
But I am surrounded by...
You're surrounded by all of them. They've now pushed into the palace. If there's a specific target you want to hit, I'll let you know if it's possible.
Are there any more of the sorcerer dudes?
There's only 2 left. The one got crushed because he was sleeping. So he actually just got trampled by this undead crowd. And those of you that were close enough could see a lot of them bend over and start digging through his body, ripping flesh and bone out from his body.
Well, that's what you get for sleeping on the jab.
But there are 1 apiece on either side. You can see both Tanaruk with their large clawed hands just cutting through undead.
I thought I killed the one on the end. Or did I just flame him?
No, he was second to the end.
Oh. Gotcha.
Oh, no, you did. So there's only 1 left. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I thought maybe there was another one that
No,
I...
there's 1 left. There's 1 orc left.
Can I see him?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to bonus action switch the hunter's mark to him, and I am going to thank you. I am going to make a rifle attack on him.
It will be a disadvantage. Yep.
All right. Okay.
It's exactly what is happening. You're trying to fight off these undead. You're using your elbows to give yourself space, especially for your stature.
Do I see anywhere where I could move out of this rabble of...
It's difficult terrain, depending on your movement.
Is that part of your difficult terrain?
I mean, difficult terrain does not affect me, really.
If that's the case, then you are able to slide your way out without issues. You will take some damage if you choose to move through a crowd of enemies.
Sure.
Okay, so you are able to hunker down, put your elbows up, and put the rifle in front of you and start cutting through. You do feel a couple rakes across your back. They're going to try to hit you. 17, does that hit?
No.
And we'll do 1 more. 17 was the highest I rolled out of 6 attacks. So you're able to weasel your way through and get a clear shot if you'd like.
Oh, well. Oh, no, and I didn't use Zephyr Strike. I used Hunter's Mark.
I was waiting for you to use Zephyr Strike, and I was surprised you didn't use it.
Yeah. Okay, so from there, I'm going to take a shot at Orc Boy.
All right.
Not great. That's not great. That is 16.
That hits.
hot damn.
Roll your damage. I'm going to get myself some water.
Cool.
What'd you get?
16 damage.
Nice. You're able to weasel your way out using your elbows and the rifle, pushing the undead out of the way. They try to claw at you. You can feel them ripping at the cloak that trails behind you. And right when someone's about to grab it, you're able to roll forward, come up. You have the orc in your sight. You level the rifle, and you take a shot. And you see the arcane force from the rifle slam into his temple as it cracks his neck in an unnatural way. And he falls. You see his arms go above him into the crowd of undead and is immediately swarmed.
Was that the last necromancer?
It was.
Was there any changes to the zombies or the big things that you made?
Not immediately.
All right.
Barrow, that's your turn. Bean is going to go.
Hang on.
Oh.
So, are there any Tanaruk left?
2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to take my extra attack that I forgot to do last turn, and I'm going to take a shot at one of those.
Sure.
Do either of them look particularly hurt, or
Not at all.
Okay.
Even with the tremendous strike from the king, it looks mad.
Okay.
Oh, mad.
I guess I'll go for the one that the king struck.
Sure.
That is a 13.
That does not hit.
Yeah.
It actually strikes a part of his shoulder, and you see one of the bone splinters chip off and gets his attention. It is now Victor Bean's turn.
Cool.
You're not sure where he is.
Wait. I'm going to have Scythe make his attacks. Cool.
He's in the crowd.
How many would you say are around him right now?
8.
Okay. Now you let me know how this works. So when he hit level 11, he gets... Hang on, let me grab it. He gets multi-attack, basically.
Okay.
So it is Storm of Claws and Fangs. Your companion can use its action to make a melee attack against each creature of its choice within 5 feet of it, with a separate attack roll for each target.
8 attacks?
Holy.
So they're all within 5 feet.
Yeah, he's surrounded.
All right.
Holy moly.
That would be 8 people.
That's pretty cool.
That'd be 8 people.
Man, if only he could go werewolf mode. That would have been dope.
It wasn't enough for
Sorry. Sorry.
just had to rub that salt in the wound as well.
Sorry. Barrow's had a rough life.
Yes. All right, so first 5.
Tell me what the lowest one is.
16.
Yep, they all hit. Do the next 3.
All right. I also have a nat 20. I'm going to set that one aside.
That aside.
That's pretty good.
And the next 3. Fuck. 7 is the lowest. That's not going to hit.
Nope.
11.
That does not hit either.
Cool.
That one does.
So only one then, because it was a 17. All right.
You don't have to roll damage. As the necromancers are gone, you see the undead start to falter. And as he bites and claws into each of these undead around him, they almost crumple like paper. As he takes out 6 of them. Is that right?
Yes, 2 of them didn't
Yes.
Okay.
Man,
Now
I'm
it's
rolling all these nat 20s on things that are not sword of sharpness, and it's very annoying to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frustrating.
Bean calls to you, Hadvar. Hey, you feel like doing something big?
Always.
And you hear his banjo play across the swaths of screams and shouts. And Hadvar, you start to feel yourself enlarge as you grow twice in size.
Well, now I'm going to do something different.
He's also going to give you his bardic inspiration. It was the orc's turn. Now it's the Tanaruk's turn, though. And they're going to take attacks. They get 3 attacks. They're going to use 2 of them to get to you. One of them is going to use 2 to get to you, Barrow. And he's going to take 1 attack on you. A natural 1. And an 18.
That does not hit.
Wow. As he comes over with his large claws, he shouts and he slams through some of these other undead, some of his own even, and he goes to gore you with his 2 horns on top, the devil horns that sit atop his head, and you're able to hit him with the butt of your rifle as you skid to the side. Hadvar, as you are growing, this Tanaruk looks to you and roars a challenge as he storms towards you and wants to engage you in battle. He is going to take 3 attacks. All right, 21 for the first. Does that hit?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know with how many items I gave you guys what your ACs are anymore. 19, sorry.
Nope.
And a 19. Wow. Nope. 2 19s and doesn't hit. So you get 1 hit. For that's not the right page. For 15 points of slashing damage as he carves into you with only one of his claws.
You said 15?
15. And it is your turn.
Uh-huh. So what's the effects of me being big?
You have another point for your AC.
Oh, well then that last hit didn't hit me.
Oh, wow. All right, take the damage off. You're able to shrug it. You get a D4 to all of your strength-based attacks.
Which is all of them. Okay.
Sure. You're twice your size, and there's something else.
Uh-oh. He walked away.
He walked away. Anthony, where did you get your computer chair?
Mine?
Yeah.
Online. The interwebs.
I get advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Yeah. Doubles in all dimensions, and its weight is multiplied by 8. Blah, blah, blah. You're a large creature. Advantage on strength checks and saving throws. Targets are D4. So your AC doesn't go up. I'm thinking of haste. I apologize. So you would have taken that damage.
Okay, that's fine.
Not that it makes too much of a difference. What would you like to do?
Well, oh, I was looking something up. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just wanted to see something right quick. All right.
You stand maybe a few inches above him, by the way. The size of these Tanarooks are large.
I just gotta see what is my. What is it? Oh, okay, D8s. All right. All right. So I am going to bash him on the head.
Do it.
But I am going to wait. I'm sorry. I should have read this prior to, because now I don't.
Did I change your plans?
You did. By making me bigger, you changed what I was gonna do. Where's the fucking? I'm sorry. No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, there it is. Okay, when I hit. All right. So I'm going to attack him with my attack.
Yes.
With my boop stick.
Your boop.
And
that.
I.
Your tentacle wand?
No, not my weird hentai wand. That is a 30.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So I'm going to expend I'm going to use one of my superiority die.
Okay.
He's got to make a DC 21 strength save.
I mean, they're pretty strong. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Wait, 15, 20. I got a 20.
So he's prone.
All right. What happens to him?
He's prone.
Oh, prone. So you strike him on the head and it knocks him back, and he almost like crowd surfing. The undead kind of hold him up for a second, but he is prone. He's just lying on the undead who are supporting him.
And he is going to take 15. Oh my god. 30. Oh, no. Sorry. That's ridiculous. 27 points of damage, and he's knocked prone.
Stand by.
Hi, Jen.
How many points of damage and he's prone?
27 and prone.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm going to make my second attack.
Oh, yeah.
With
All
advantage,
right.
because he's prone.
You have advantage anyway. It's a strength. Strength checks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that is a. Yeah, that's like 31 to hit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to use another whatchamacallit, so this is going to be 17 points of damage.
Okay.
How's he look?
Math. He's bloodied.
Action surge.
As you strike him in the head, knock him backwards, he almost looks like he goes unconscious for a second. As he starts to come to, you slam the staff down, and you go back for 2 more strikes as you stab the spear into him over and over again. No. Get it? All right.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna do another superiority die. I don't wanna.
You do whatever you want because they all get doubled. Dies get doubled on a crit.
Oh, and I get another one because I'm an orc.
He gets so excited.
All right. So that's going to be. That's 40 points of damage.
Wow. Wow. He looks awful. As this perversion of your race, you take personal insult. Your enlarged form, you charge forward, and there's like a Titans moment where you both kind of like lock in battle, and as you push off each other, that's when you strike him and he goes unconscious. And you go down and you strike him again, and you stab twice with the end of your spear, and you can see blood start to pool out of him, and you see the undead start to frenzy underneath him as they start to pull away at some of his flesh.
Second attack from my action surge.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair. 16. That's gonna be like what math? 23.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. I sure hope so.
Oh boy.
All right, that is going to be 21.
21. How would you like to do this?
Oh.
I feel like that's deserving.
So, I would like to take the end of my staff, and purely thematically, I just kind of want to charge it and like send it in through his, like right through his face, like the end of the staff, just plant it down.
Sure.
Like leg up on him, Captain Jack style, just.
So in your
like I just
enlarged
planted a flag
form,
on the moon.
you have him back, and he's being held up by these undead, and you can notice a lot of them are starting to pull the flesh off his back as they start to dig into his body. You start striking and striking, and the last one, as you see him start to lose consciousness, he roars back at you, and you plant your foot on his chest, and you charge the staff, and as you come down, you can see lightning arc between him and his horns, and you strike it straight through his face. As you slam it down, you crush the undead underneath him, and you take about 8 or so undead with the Tanaruk as you slam it down, and you see an electrical charge kind of dissipate from his body.
Fantastic. And as if I didn't do enough, I'm going to expend 2 of my points to bonus action Eldritch Blast the other one.
Okay, sure. This is a turn, man.
All right, so the lowest die I have is a 14 plus 7.
Yeah, that'll hit. Man, oh man, this is no joke. This character, that's a lot. It's a lot that he's doing. That's a lot.
All right, so it's gonna be 5, 16, 17, 26 points of damage.
And that will get him bloodied.
Fantastic. All right, guys.
Wow. Amora, it is your turn.
I was gonna go towards the horde and take out my daggers and try to get a stabby stab.
Just start taking out a bunch of them?
Yeah, because I was gonna cast Green Flame Blade. So if I can get one, and then it'll
jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it. Make an attack.
I haven't done this in forever. Let's see.
What were you gonna say?
I forgot Atari's attack. I think it's fine.
You did fine.
So if I'm casting Green Flame Blade and I have dual daggers, do I do the?
You're using a bonus action to cast, so you wouldn't be able to take the second attack.
Well, because the Green Flame Blade is an action.
Oh, yeah, and then you attack as part of that action.
Spell, and with the casting of the spell, you're making the attack action. So if you have like let's say for Hadvar 1.0, it was bad for me to take it because you miss out on your extra attack.
Okay.
Because you don't, it's your action you're using.
It's a bonus action to use your offhand, so I would say you'd be able to cast it on both and stab, and have Green Flame Blade jump.
I see what you're saying.
Gotcha. So would I need a sorcery point to do both? Because this is just an action.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do it as a bonus action, you would use a sorcery point to use it as a bonus
to
action.
attack again. Yeah, so you would have to
And
quicken a
as-
spell. Yes.
Yeah, you would quicken.
Now, can I quicken I can't quicken cantrips because I can quicken the yes. Okay. So that's what I'll do. So the first one was a 24.
Yeah, that hits.
I'm just gonna roll the daggers first and
Sure.
then the green blade. And then the second one, 8. That's an 11.
11 does not hit.
Okay. So the first strike is a 4 plus. So it's 11 total for one target.
Okay.
Then it's
It's an extra D6 of, or the fire.
It's the green flame is an additional. So if it jumps, it does 3d8 plus 5. Yes.
Oh yeah, because you're
I'm
level
level
11. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage. That's
Yeah.
a lot of splash damage. Holy cow.
Well, that's why I didn't realize that I could have done it both. So now I'm actually taking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 17 to the second one.
Uh-huh. And those jump.
So it only jumps once since I struck.
Oh, so that's 11, and then the jump was 17.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second attack?
Missed.
Oh, it missed. You're right. Just for fun, roll a percentage die.
65.
Okay, never mind. So you go in and you start to try and carve, and you cast a spell, and you can see both of them light up with green energy, and you stab into one, and you see it engulf in green flame, and jump over and engulf a second one in green flame. As they both dissipate, you give yourself some room, and as you turn to strike the other one, you're pushed into that space and swarmed again.
Wait.
It is now. Is that it?
Oh, that was it. But I was gonna say because I came in from the outside because I
Oh,
wasn't.
yeah. If you're gonna go in for melee, they're still moving.
Okay, because I was just gonna try to. But I
Gotta back up. If you want to back up, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I'd like at least back up so I'm not crushed or
In the space, that's fine. You're able to weasel your way back out. You're just on the outskirts of it. The king and Altira are going to take their attacks against a bunch of them. You know what? No. Altira takes out 3 of them. And you see the king hold his sword up and just scream. And as he does that, there's this blue light that emanates from the blade and goes out across the whole swarm. You're not sure what it does, but he's casting a spell. It is their turn. Everyone roll percentage dice for me for their movement.
Nintendo 64.
Does it matter because I moved back out of the space?
Potentially. What'd you get?
46.
Okay. Arrow?
12.
Okay. So this isn't.
Scythe got 11.
So the way that I'm doing this is I'm rolling percentage die, and you have to be within a certain amount of my roll to take damage, which is kind of my trick for throwing everyone off. So you don't know whether a 12 is good or bad. So, say your totals again.
64.
46.
11 and 12.
So Hadvar and Amora are taking damage this turn. Barrow and Scythe are not. Odd how that works. And you guys are going to take 35 points of slashing damage. Amora, you take 29 points of slashing damage. Oh, and I got to roll for... All right, Bean. Good. Tara takes it. And the king does not. Tara, math. Bean. Oh, what am I doing? Bean has an app. Bean.
Is there any way
Okay.
that my bardic inspiration would have helped me on that? Because I never used it.
No.
Damn.
At this point, you start to see orange crystals and portals opening up. And you see a lot of these people start to vanish. Blip, 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 blip. Over the course of the next round, we'll say that the good undead are able to swarm over and stop any more damage from occurring.
Okay.
You killed the necromancers quick enough that there weren't more Tanaruk, so I'm not going to make you go through any more combat. So that was good strategy rather than focusing on the horde. The last Tanaruk does portal away. And you see a row of black-robed dwarves with red trim, and they'll have their hands up, and you see them all sweating. And as they're sweating, you can see blood kind of intermingled with the sweat. As they all stop casting, you see the 50 or so undead that are left just collapse. The ones that are headless, armless, civilians and whatnot, they just stop. As you see these just kind of lull to the side. And the king raises or puts his sword down. And he looks at you. There's much more of the city to be saved. But for now, we hold this ground. And he puts the sword into the ground, and you see that same blue light kind of emanate out. And he says something under his breath. And you all heal for... I guess I should roll for that, since it's a spell. Ooh. 15 points.
Yay!
I'll take it.
At the end of all this, after he holds that down, the other dwarves approach you, and you see a lot of the Griffin Riders in the air still circling around, dive bombing into the city, picking people up, and you can see now throughout the city as you look down below this mountain, orange portals opening up sporadically throughout the whole city. Sporadically, and one right after the other.
Lit.
It seems as though the city is starting to calm down. As you are standing at the top of this mountain.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So when they're portaling away, like
Yes.
the ones that were near us, can we see anything on the other side that would indicate
It's
where
black.
they could be going?
No, it's just a black hole. And they fall through it and it closes right away.
Okay.
Hadvar, you receive a message from a familiar voice. Captain, we've been looking for you out here. We need your help. It's one of the Shadow Vein that you're familiar with.
Which one? Okay, never mind. Yeah, if you have to look, we can talk about that later.
No,
I was
no.
just gonna
I
thematic.
have it like right around the corner here. Or so I thought. Where are you? Shadow Vein. It's the cleric of the group. Vine. Human female.
And I know this. I can respond to this.
Yep.
Where are you? What's going on?
We're in Riziton. It's not looking so good. We need you here.
We're on our way.
That closes off.
And we'll continue what you guys are doing.
Yep. Is there anything you want to address while you're at the top of this mountain right now?
I'm gonna loot the necromancers.
Sure. You go over, roll an investigation check.
All right. Guidance this time.
Yeah.
Well, that was a natural 1. I can roll the guidance if you want. Nope,
Nope.
that was a 1 as well.
Wow.
Wow.
As you're searching, you actually prick yourself on a hypodermic needle and you think you may have contracted AIDS.
Worst loot.
A real concern in my world.
I just I look up and I'm like, why?
But fair enough. We can continue any dialogue later, but we'll end there. After the battle has calmed down, it seems like the city has finally hit a neutral point where things are salvageable.
Good deal.
And there are what appear to be necromancers fighting for good in this city. For all the undead that were in front of you and the black-robed dwarves that approached and the undead that fell, you get the feeling like there was more than one resistance movement. But we will explore that next time. Very good timing. Jen just got home. So I will see you all later. Have a good rest of your evening.
We killed Min.
Yeah, Min's dead.
Dead.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Completely ignoring you.
Oh.
Have a good night. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good night, Kyle.
Good night.